Welcome to Tech to Tech presented by KYZEN, where we will explore common cleaning questions and answers. Let's get started. I would like to introduce KYZEN's own Beth Bivens.
All right. Thank you, William. Today in our solvent replacement series, I am going to discuss co-solvent vapor degreasing and why it might be time to consider that option. So this slide has been shared by all of us doing the solvent replacement series, but just to give you a recap of the future of what's going on with the current vapor degreasing solvents. 3M is exiting the business. They were the only manufacturer of HFEs, and they are not accepting orders after March 31st of next year, possibly sooner. HFCs, which would include the Vertrel and some other products, are being phased out due to government mandates because of their global warming potentials. The TSCA inventory has a list of products that are on their way out, which include trichloroethylene and propyl bromide, perchloroethylene, and methylene chloride. And then PFAS regulations are coming. The EPA has started to regulate PFAS, including drinking water. Individual states also have their own PFAS laws. And I added now to this list, chlorinated solvents are being banned by certain corporations and companies. These are chlorinated solvents in excluding TCE and perchloroethylene, which were already banned, but now there are other chlorinated solvents that are being banned. So what are some solvent options? The global vapor degreasing solvents of choice for the future, as we see it, will be HFOs, hydrofluoroolefins, or hydrochlorofluoroolefins, or blends of those with other solvents. Blends of those with trans 1,2-dichloroethylene. However, like I said, trans 1,2-dichloroethylene is already not allowed in some countries like Germany and Switzerland. Some large corporations have also banned any solvent that contains chlorine, or any product actually. And these blends, even if you can use the blends of the HFOs or HCFOs, they're not good at cleaning some soils like solder fluxes, waxes, things that have a high melting point or need high temperature to be removed. So what is a good option? How about co-solvent cleaning? It's making a comeback. Just like the record player on the right, vinyl records are on their way back in, and so is co-solvent cleaning, which it was originally invented in the 1990s as sort of the first replacement for Freon and some of the old traditional vapor degreasing solvents. However, since it's a two-solvent process, it was gradually replaced by azeotropes of like the fluorinated solvents and trans 1,2-dichloroethylene, or some people went to a completely different process like aqueous cleaning. However, co-solvent cleaning is a very flexible process that's also very environmentally friendly. So I will be talking about that more. So what is it? So for people who aren't familiar, it's much more popular in Europe at this point than it is in the US and other parts of the world. But basically, you put a blend of two solvents in the boil sump of a vapor degreaser. The solvating agent, which is part of the blend, does the cleaning. You can adjust the boiling point by adjusting the amount of the solvating agent in the boil sump of the degreaser. And it's a good cleaner, but usually they have high boiling points, high vapor pressures, or low vapor pressures, so they dry slowly. And then the rinse agent would be a non-PFAS HFO or HCFO, which rinses and it also dries quickly. So here's what it looks like. So in the boil sump, the blue is the solvating agent. So you have a blend of a solvating agent, which could be a hydrocarbon, it could be an alcohol. Really, you can tailor it to whatever soil you're trying to clean. And then the green is the rinse agent, which is the non-PFAS fluorinated solvent. And usually you're 50 to 70% solvating agent, 30 to 50% rinse agent in the boiling sump. So the solvent in this sump is boiling, and what you would do is take your basket of parts and actually immerse them in the boil sump where the cleaning is done, and then transfer them over to the rinse sump where the rinsing is done, and then gradually pull them out of the vapor degreaser, and they will be dry and clean when they come out. So here's an example graph of sort of what happens when you vary the amount of solvating agent in the process. So, 0% solvating agent, the rinse agent would have a boiling point of around 54 degrees C. And as you go up in solvating agent percentage, the boiling point increases. And you can vary this depending on what it is you're trying to clean. If it's a wax with a high melting point, sometimes you want to be up here in the higher boiling point ranges. So it's a very flexible process. And I actually should have mentioned on this slide that in this process, the rinse agent is what's boiling or what's condensing up here. So as you're boiling and creating vapor, that's pure rinse agent that ends up in the rinse sump over here. Should have mentioned that prior. So just a little bit about what happens when you have to replace the solvating agent. There are a number of ways you can do that. You can either do a boil down where you drain the rinse sump and then boil over the rinse agent into the rinse sump, and what's left behind is the spent solvating agent. Or you can use a small distillation system like the KYZEN capture, or other manufacturers make these too, where you pump the boil sump into this distillation system, which returns the rinse agent back to the degreaser, and then the waste solvating agent goes into this little can that you can dispose of. So this is a better way to conserve the rinse agent, which is the more expensive of the two cleaning agents that are in this process. So in conclusion, co-solvent vapor degreasing, it's a highly flexible process that kind of went away when people went to single solvent cleaning or other types of processes, but it can be used to clean waxes, fluxes. A lot of solder fluxes can be cleaned in this type of process. It's great for parts with tight clearances, like circuit boards where the components are very close to the board. Parts with blind holes, or places where it's easy to get material into the holes, but hard to get it out. It's a water-free process. It contains no chlorinated solvents, and the cleaning temperature can be changed by adjusting the percent solvating agent. So a few questions. Will the co-solvent process work in my existing degreaser? The answer is yes, as long as it's one of the more modern type degreasers with extended freeboard, and actually automation is preferred too. But in most cases, it will work without much modification at all, other than changing a few temperature settings. So how do I know which solvating agent to use? As I mentioned, you can actually tailor the solvating agent to clean whatever soil it is you're trying to clean. There are multiple different types out there, and basically I would suggest to do sort of a solubility test or a cleaning test with the soils to figure out what works the best. And how do I keep the ratio of solvating agent to rinse agent consistent? You do that by monitoring the boiling point, and actually some machines, if they're set up, can actually meter in one or the other to keep the ratio in the proper form. But you basically do that by monitoring the boiling point and keeping the boiling point at the same level all the time. And how do I know when the solvating agent needs to be replaced? This one, it's probably a little bit of trial and error at the beginning, but basically when you no longer are getting clean parts, you'll want to monitor the solvating agent for the amount of soil loading, and also check the boiling point, because the boiling point can also increase as the solvating agent gets loaded with soil. So I would suggest that you do your cleaning until the cleaning is no longer acceptable, and then see how many cycles or how long it lasts. And then at that point, you want to maybe consider changing it out. And that's all I have. Thank you for your time today, and good luck with your cleaning process.
Thanks, Beth. Thank you all for watching this Tech to Tech session. If you would like to discuss this topic further or have any questions not answered in the session, please contact your local KYZEN regional manager or send an email to tech@kyzen.com. We will have someone follow up with you as soon as possible. And if you like this video, be sure to follow us on our social media platforms for more expert cleaning content.